again, it's a pleasure to welcome Dr. Gloria Gilbert.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Dr. Gilbert, in our past conversations, you've talked about chemical syndromes and your body being poisoned and other things. When does this whole thing with chemicals and what it does to the system start?
Actually, in my opinion, it starts from the time of conception, because when you have a developing fetus, if that mother is exposed to, whether it be a lot of preservatives, food coloring, chemicals in the air, let's say it's pesticides. You know, being a baby boomer, we realized that most of those synthetic chemicals were actually synthesized after World War II. And now we have so many, we have millions and millions of chemicals annually that are literally put out into products and into the environment that are not tested. And therefore, when the mother has conceived and that fetus starts to grow, everything that she does affects that baby. I really believe that that's why we're having so much ADD, ADHD, we're having immune system disorders, we're having more multiple sclerosis, we're having more Down syndrome. Because a very good example of that, Lyle, that I find is appalling, is that most people are not talking about the toxicity of synthetic fragrances, for instance. So here you have a young woman expecting her child, and she's putting on synthetic body creams and perfumes and colognes and bath gels and everything that you can imagine, and the organs of elimination and absorption, the largest organ of that is the skin.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize that. Well, that's not an organ. Yes, it is. It's the largest organ. So if you're absorbing all of that, it's going right into the system. It's going right into the lymphatic system, and it's going into the fetus.
Now, weren't you the one that told me that there was a survey that came out, something like 500 babies, the umbilical cord, the blood, and having them examined? There was like an average of 287 chemicals. Of which, what, 70 or 80 were carcinogenic?
170. Carcinogenic, yes, which also meant they were neurotoxins.
Part of that has to do with the fragrance.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
just amazing.
And the cleaning chemicals. And that's why women, for instance, have more autoimmune disorders, fibromyalgias and lupus and all of those autoimmune disorders that we didn't hear of 20 and 30 years ago. Because women use more products. Women generally, not to exclude the men, but women generally are the ones that clean the house. They're the ones that perm their hair, and we color our hair, and we wear makeup, and we do nail polish, and all of those things are toxic. I mean, now, I know 10 years ago even, when I became ill, it was very hard to find a nail polish, for instance, that didn't have toluene or formaldehyde. Now they're all over. You can find a beautiful array of organic products that do not have synthetic fragrances. So you maybe pay 50 cents a bottle more for an organic shampoo. Isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth the health of your baby and the developing immune system? And isn't it worth it for you to be able to be healthy, to be able to enjoy that child? So, you know I do a lot of teaching of pregnant women. And that's so that everything that they do, if they're drinking, and we only talk about cigarettes and alcohol usually with pregnancy. We need to place just as much emphasis on the chemicals that they're exposed to.
Let me ask you a question. There are a lot of people that would like to see us use bovine growth hormone much more than we're doing. And now I understand that bovine growth hormone gets into milk. Most formulas are made from cow's milk.
Yes.
What impact does that have on?
A tremendous impact. Number one, the human body was not meant to consume cow's milk. As you know, I'm very proactive about goat milk products.
Yes.
And the main reasons are a couple. One is that the protein molecule in a cow product, in a bovine product, is like the size of a marble if you're going to compare. Let's say we have a metal sieve with the little tiny holes in it that you sift the pasta in. If you try to put the comparison of a molecule of cow product, a bovine product, it's like a marble. You take a goat milk particle, the molecular size is that of a grain of rice. And so therefore, and it's also the closest in molecular structure to human breast milk. So the body, the liver, the digestive system just kind of treats it like it's breast milk, and it's able to go through the digestive system, and it acts as a cleansing agent where it doesn't form mucus and phlegm. When you take cow products, it forms mucus and phlegm. It's a large protein molecule, right? And so everything that the body has to do to process that bovine product is putting it on alert. It's overworking the systems of detoxification and digestion. So no, I don't. I have a little bit of cow products. Yes, I do a little bit in my coffee, but that's it. Everything else I do is goat milk products.
That's very interesting.
And goats are the healthiest animals on earth, so therefore they don't get the growth hormones, or they don't get the antibiotics.
Well, I think that people should really give a lot of thought to what you've just talked about, particularly those of us that are grandparents, and particularly those of us that are parents. But most anyone who's considering having a child needs to be as educated as they
Absolutely.
can.
And I know how you feel about your grandchildren. How many do you have now?
We have 3.
3, and I have 3, so we're
There you
even.
go.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You're
It's
very
always
welcome.
nice to have you
You're
with us.
very welcome. Thank you. And thank you for bringing this up.